Bentley for Men Absolute. If you've come here looking for an original, unique fragrance, this is neither of those. But what it lacks in originality, it makes up for in its stark similarity to Gucci pour Homme 1, which is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Unfortunately, that one has been discontinued for a while, but the demand is still high. So the lack of supply, increase in demand has created some very high prices. If you can find it, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I'm here to tell you how close this one comes to Gucci pour Homme 1 and the reasons why you should pick this one up if you're a fan of that style of scent. This is one that you're not going to want to miss, guys. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Thanks for tuning in. Again, Happy New Year. This is my second video of 2023. Thank you all for coming. All right, so tonight I'm going to be reviewing an awesome one from Bentley. Yes, that's right, the British car manufacturer. I know most of you guys out there probably already know this, but they do have a couple of lines of fragrances out there. I think, it's pretty safe to say that their most notable line is the For Men line. So in the For Men line, they have Bentley for Men Intense, Bentley for Men Black Edition, Silver Lake, Azure, and Absolute. So I'm gonna start off with the presentation here. It's a nice matte finish black box with the Bentley logo in front in gold lettering, the gold symbol. All right, eau de parfum concentration, 100 milliliter bottle. On the back, we have the ingredients, typical stuff, nothing too special. Although on the top here, there is a perimeter of, it's like a raised, kind of plasticky pattern, kind of cool, I guess. On the bottom here, more typical information. That doesn't really help us at all. Gonna get right into this now. The bottle, solid black, gold writing, very, minimalist. I like it here. Now, just to clear up some confusion right off the bat, this is Bentley for Men Absolute. There are two versions of this bottle. It's the exact same fragrance, same concentration, same everything, except, as you can see here, I have the bottle with the black metal top. They also have bottles out there with the gold metal top, but like I said, it's the exact same fragrance, so no worries there. This is a very heavy bottle, very heavy. The cap also kind of slides off. If you push it in hard, it does kind of stick, but I would not want to pick this up, by the cap, as I always say. Just, it's never a good idea to make a habit out of that. Sprays very well here. Gonna go ahead and waste on the skin here. All right. Right off the bat, I do like this a lot. I really like this. It does definitely remind me of Gucci pour Homme 1. In fact, that's one of the biggest reasons why Bentley for Men Absolute has garnered so much hype over the years, because of the similarities to that fragrance, Gucci pour Homme 1. So getting right into the scent breakdown here, the official notes are the following. In the top, pink pepper and ginger. In the middle, olibanum, papyrus, sandalwood. In the bottom, atlas cedar, agarwood / oud, amber, and moss. Slightly complex note breakdown there. And as usual, I don't agree with it. As usual, my nose detects other notes. So what I actually detect is the following. In the top, I definitely get some black pepper and some basil, just a little tiny hint of basil. In the mid, I definitely get papyrus and some cedar. In the bottom, I get some amber and some more cedar. So as you can tell here, it's a slightly spicy, woody fragrance, mainly woody, and it has a very slight tinge of green in the top with that basil. So opening up, I definitely get a black pepper as opposed to pink pepper, which is what's listed in the official notes. Pink pepper to me has more of a floral, slightly kind of sweet tinge to it, whereas black pepper is just kind of pure spicy and dry. and I don't get any sweetness in this, I think it's safe to say that this is black pepper. And I mentioned there is just a slight hint of basil in the top, very slight. You kind of have to dig your nose in it in order to detect it, but I think it is there. Although obviously it is not very strong. The opening is definitely dominated by that black pepper note. And, you know, the black pepper and also the basil quickly die down. In the mid, definitely coming up, we get some papyrus and cedar. Now, I want to bring up the incense note. Yes, this does smell like incense. Very much so, in fact. And that is because of the papyrus. The papyrus gives off, it's like an aromatic type of light woodiness with burnt kind of effects, let's say. So it gives off an incensey vibe. And that paired with the cedar, which is also a fresh type of wood, it definitely gives off the impression of incense, to the point where anybody who smells this around you is going to just think, oh, that's incense, because that's exactly what it smells like. But, you know, to somebody who's more or less into perfumery as a hobby, I think people like that realize that, you know, different notes come together to create certain accords. So the accord here would be incense, and to my nose, I think it's the papyrus paired with that cedar in the mid. Just gives off a really nice incense. And in the bottom, yeah, there's more cedar, and I detect amber. Now the amber in this is more of a warmth, all right? It's not a sweetness, but it's a warmth, like a kind of a warm woodiness mixed with the fresh cedar. So all in all, we're dealing, you know, with a very woody fragrance with incense that's really strong in the middle, and, you know, it kind of dies down the incensey part, you know, as the fragrance dies down itself. So, comparisons to Gucci Pour Homme 1, I think they are very similar. You know, Gucci Pour Homme 1 is a little bit stronger, I will say that right off the bat. Gucci Pour Homme 1 has more of a slightly boozy accord in the opening. I think, you know, the ginger has a lot to do with that in Gucci Pour Homme 1. And, you know, like I said, the Gucci Pour Homme 1 is just stronger. Now, this one is not weak by any means. And I think, like I said, it gets you 99% of the way to Gucci Pour Homme 1. If you sprayed on Gucci Pour Homme 1 on one wrist and Bentley for Men Absolute on the other, and you went up to a random person on the street, I don't think that person would ever be able to tell the difference between the two. Now, this does remind me of some other fragrances out there. Most notably, Comme des Garçons Man 2. Very similar. The incense note in that is turned up a little bit compared to this. And the performance on that one is weaker than this. And, you know, that one's also far more expensive than this. So at the end of the day, if I had to choose, I would definitely go with this one. You know, it also does remind me slightly of one of my other absolute favorites, which is Greyland by Montal. Another one that's discontinued, just impossible to find, unfortunately. So, having mentioned all of those great fragrances, you know, considering price, considering value, considering performance, if you can afford Gucci Pour Homme 1, I mean, go for it, sure. If you want to spend upwards of $300 US for a bottle, go for it. Unfortunately, that one is only available on places like eBay, which unfortunately can't always be trusted. Gucci Pour Homme 1 is very frequently faked. What I'm saying is it's very easy to get ripped off if you go out looking for rare, discontinued fragrances on sites like eBay and Amazon. So if you really want to play it safe, and if you want to get almost the full way to Gucci Pour Homme 1, just go with this one, Bentley for Men Absolute. Just give it a couple more sprays, honestly. You'll get pretty good performance out of it. So speaking of which, the performance. I said it's slightly weaker than Gucci Pour Homme 1, but it is not a weak fragrance, all right? The projection, I'd say it projects well for the first hour, and then it definitely does die down closer to the skin for the remainder of the lifespan. The longevity on my skin is, you know, 7 to 8 hours, so it's above average. The sillage is not very strong. I find this only lasts in the air around me after I spray it for about 10 minutes. So, you know, all in all, it's an above average performer. There are better performers out there, but like I said, if you're looking for something really, really close in terms of quality, in terms of scent profile, and in terms of performance to Gucci Pour Homme 1, this is by far your best bet. So, versatility, you know, it's not the most versatile scent out there, but it's also not the most challenging by any means. I think this is more suited to the mature male audience. There's nothing feminine whatsoever about this one. Leans mature, very woody. It has that incense accord. I can't see many young guys out there appreciating this. I think, you know, age 30 plus in a formal setting in colder weather, perfect for those occasions, perfect for those people. Yeah, like I said, it's not solely for cold weather. In fact, I'd say maybe even more appropriate for fall. In fact, I don't think, you know, if it's extremely cold out there, like if we're talking minus 40 Celsius in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, I'm not sure it's going to cut through temperatures that low, but you know, fall and for, let's say, average cold winter days, sure. Even spring in the evening time, this would be perfect. Like I said, though, it does lean formal. Not one I would want to wear out to the clubs, because, like I said, it is incensey, it is woody. It's not a typical designer fragrance. You're going to stand out when you're wearing this in a good way. Although a lot of women out there may not really like it, so I wouldn't say it's really suitable for dates, for example. Some women do like it, but a lot don't. This is more of a scent that you wear for yourself, or if you're, you know, associating with other fragrance lovers, or if you're just with mature people in a mature type setting, you know, a formal event, whatever, something like that. This would be a perfect fragrance to wear in that occasion as well. So, yeah, moving on to the price. It's a very affordable fragrance. A 100 milliliter bottle can be found on fragrancebuy.ca for around $37 US. So I'm going to add that link down below here so you guys can easily access it. You know, at the end of the day, it's 99% close to Gucci Pour Homme 1, and it costs like 1/10 of the price. Honestly, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Just pick this one up. I'm glad I did. Anyway, guys, that's my review of Bentley for Men Absolute. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, keep it real.